Ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, woke up so. Let's try that again. You know what? I forgot to open my beers. I'll do that here for a second. There we go. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, woke up episode 411 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey there, Tyler. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Just a casual work week with everything else, and I've just been handling some breaking news.
Mm,
And fine.
late
Yeah,
breaking news.
that's fine. That's good.
Gables is pregnant. Congratulations.
Ah ha ha. Very funny. Anyway, I'm doing all right. I'm gonna be shopping for a Game Boy Advance SP fairly shortly, and that's just the thing.
Is your mom like our new like late breaking news like person now? Like they just slide it off camera
Oh
and
God,
slide you a piece of paper? Because
she's been
I
doing
mean,
that for the past like 4 years,
I
honestly.
wanted to I wanted to start doing that. If something happens while we're recording, like if Nintendo announces like a direct in the morning, like she just comes in and slides you a piece of paper. We're like 43 minutes in, she just like comes in. It's like we're doing a show. Oh, what? Oh, fuck, what? And then bam, here we go. We're on a tangent. I'll pay her. I don't have any money, but I'll pay her.
But yeah, yeah. And other than that, though, it's like yeah, I'm gonna be looking into some options here because apparently my little brother wants a
It's
new
Coral.
Nintendo 2DS, Virtual Console and Game Boy Advance. Which what I'm processing through there is like he wants a 2DS, but he doesn't realize there's no Game Boy Advance
I was
games
gonna
on the
ask
Virtual
if
Console for the
I was gonna
on
ask if that was. I
the
couldn't remember if it took it off or
3DS.
not. Did the
Now,
new 3DS have it, or did they take it off too?
no, here's the thing: when it comes to Game Boy Advance games, especially for like Virtual Console stuff, it never came out officially on the later 3DS models. It was
Okay.
only through the ambassador program of the
Yeah,
original 3DS where Nintendo wanted to reward the people, pretty much give them like certain games because they actually spent the extra $100 for the
they
3DS when it
overpaid.
first came out.
Yeah.
So I was the one that ended up getting the 3DS, not the Game Boy Advance Virtual Console games on my original 3DS. And obviously, my brother looks at that and it's like, oh, hey, I want to play them on my 3DS or my 2DS or whatever the hell he wants.
Mm.
But yeah, just long story short, trying to shop for like retro game systems or even like retro game things could be a bit of a pain in the ass, especially if
Yeah.
you have someone in your life that doesn't understand the concept of, okay, this is old, this is out of print, you can't find them anywhere else,
Or for a reasonable price.
or for a reasonable price. That's very
Yeah.
true.
10 years ago, those things were like 20, $30. You can. I mean, I remember working at a game store when I was in 2008, 2009, and like Game Boy Advance SPs were like. I mean, we had dozens of them. We couldn't give them away.
Yes, and I remember that. And because we don't have anything like remotely close to a used game store around the area, because the only means of a main for like game stuff was a freaking Game Stop, which is no longer available. But
Should have bought more GameStop songs.
oh god. But yeah, man, I'm doing fine. How have you been?
Doing okay, Gable. It's been a pretty good week. The Shamrock Shake is back.
Oh,
So that's a win. I had one of those today when I went there. My parents. Why are you laughing?
you sound like my mom. Is like my mom every time she goes to the drive-through. I'm with her. It's like, hey, they got a Shamrock Shake.
Does your mom get the coffee, the black coffee with the fillet of fish?
Oh no, no, no.
Okay, no, sorry, I'm just
No, no,
curious.
no. She doesn't touch anything in regards to fast food stuff. I mean, she's
That's
on her
smart. That's
diet
smart.
and this and that, though. No, she buys the fillet of fish. My dad, though. I mean, he'll just eat like two of them and like,
That's so terrible. I said no with Good Friday, all that. We're in Lent now, so um, no. But yeah, that's back. Going got one of those today. I won't. I don't. The only thing I can stand to ingest at McDonald's at this point anymore in my life is their iced coffees and Shamrock shakes.
like their iced tea, pretty much. But I don't put any Splenda or anything else. It's like the iced tea. I think is okay,
Yeah, I can't drink tea. I get migraines from tea. Tea and lemonade give me migraines. Um,
dude. If we're speaking about tea, whatever you do not drink any carbonated tea.
oh, that's terrible.
Dude, I found that out firsthand where it's like my boss at my work yesterday was she was going through some bit of like the stuff that she was trying to throw out, and we had a bunch of cans of like carbonated like ice like these I like
Like
freaking
the
iced
brisk.
tea or something like that. And it wasn't brisk; it was some other brand,
Okay.
right? And so she took a taste of it. She's like, I don't kind of like the taste of it. And it's like, She was gonna throw out the cans. I'm like, hey, let me try one of these cans. So I crack open one of the cans, I take a sip of it, and I taste tea, right? But yet it's like a sparkling sort of water sort of thing,
That's
where it's like it's carbonated, and I'm like, oh, well, no, this doesn't taste right at all.
Gables. I was hoping you said you like took the two cans, you smashed them together, chugged them, and you fucking stunned her right then and there. That's what you should have done. That's what you should have done.
No,
That's what
but I'll tell you what
that's
I
what Stone
did
Cold would
do
have
is
done.
after I drank one or two sips of the damn thing, I started burping consistently for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot though. That's how I am with like carbonation. Like because I don't drink a lot of carbonation ever since I quit drinking soda. Um, so like I get burpy more, especially like if you listen to me on this podcast, I burp a lot just because I'm drinking these beers, and the carbonation in them. Like that's all the carbonation I get is from beers, and the only time I drink is during the show. It's weird where the DrunkNerds podcast like
Dude,
you could tell like when we made the show we were in our early 20s. That name meant a lot more back then than it does now. But yeah, but
yes, our
yeah, like
official name is the Going Mild podcast.
yeah, we drink we drink our beers with our pinky up podcast. So mm. Yeah, it's the couple beers podcast at this point now. Um, but even though I am on my third beer now, I'm going crazy. This shit's like 7.5%. It's nuts. Um, but yeah, so the Shamrock shake got one of those. My parents invited me over for dinner today, so that was nice. So I went over there, had dinner, and I'm like, you know what? I want a Shamrock shake. You know, because I drove by and I saw the sign for Shamrock shake, got one, and I brought Louis with me over to my parents and stuff, so he can come over and he doesn't get left here by himself. And I got him a scoop of ice cream, so he's pretty happy with it. So it's been a pretty good evening, you know. And then I had a decent chunk of time off this week, so that was nice. I ended
Yeah.
up like I talked about. If you want to hear, we're going to talk much about the Nintendo Direct. If you guys, that's where you want to mostly like hear a lot about. We did a whole separate podcast where we talked almost 2.5 or almost 2 hours about the Direct on Wednesday. So check that out for episode 410.
Okay.
It's on everything. It's on Twitch, on YouTube. It's on everything if you want to hear that. Uh, but yeah, I had Wednesday off, had Thursday off, and then I took Saturday off from my second job, so that was fucking nice. And then
Dude.
so I was talking about I was in a bit of a gaming slump, and then I fucking snapped out of that shit this week.
It's so easy to snap out of it too. I mean, if you go into a long stint of time where it's like you've been working consistently and like you barely have enough time to play something, and all of a sudden you actually make some time, whether you have a day off that you didn't think you were going to get, or
Yeah,
just randomly wake up one morning like around 6 or 7 o'clock, and all of a sudden be like, I want to play some Mario today, which is that's exactly what ended up happening a couple days ago with me. Then it's all of a
yeah,
sudden you're just having a good chunk of time, like that good solid hour and a half or something like that, and it's like, oh, I feel better. Let's go to work today.
yeah. Well, yeah. Like you said, makes like that's like I talked about a couple weeks ago. I've been in a bit of a gaming slump, and always go into a gaming slump about this time of year. But I was thinking about it through this week. I'm like, every job I've had, or like since we've been doing this podcast, um, and really the last like 6 7 years, all my jobs I've had like this is like the busy time of the year. Like that
Yep.
December January stretch, even some all the winter stretch is like crazy time for me. Um, with my last job and my current job, current main job, even my second job. It's crazy this time of year. But anyways, so it's just like crazy working more hours and you're just more mentally drained. So it's like when you want to come home and you jump into a game, it's just like like yeah, we play games to relax, but it's also you still have to have like something there to like get invested to them. And so it's like I've been like just watching a lot of movies and TV shows lately.
Mm.
Um, I'll try to jump in shit and it's just not clicking for me. And it's just like this week, like, and sometimes it's just maybe it's just you're not like there's no games that are just speaking to you. Like I might get there in the summertime where it's like I have jobs like my last job I had where it's like summertime is like that's all your time is like you have like you're working 48-hour days. You're home by 3 o'clock every day. You don't work weekends. And it's like, all right, cool. Oh, there's no fucking games to play, for the most part in the summer. So it's like shit. So it's like, so you're not playing a lot, but because there's just nothing there speaking to you to like grab your attention. Um, and I was just like, I found a couple games this week that it was perfect. It just kind of lined up perfectly where I had the time off, and then picked up a couple games that really speak to me. And fuck it, we're here, so let's just talk about what we've been playing. Is it okay
Yes.
if I go first?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So I'll try to get through this quickly. So I was talking about Wednesday. I ended up surprised. My boss called me, telling me to come in. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I sat down and I've been wanting to play that Gears 5, the Hivebuster DLC. It's actually like, so it's a, I don't usually, I mean, I don't go back to, I love the Gears for the campaign. I don't care about the multiplayer stuff. And there's this team called the Scorpio Squad, which I believe are just like, they're characters that are only in the online part. But there's like, they have their characters and there's like, they're called the Scorpio Squad, I believe. And, or Squad Scorpio 1 and 2. And there's like there's some backstory there too, but I don't know like how much they go into it in the multiplayer part. But anyways, so they did like this actual like story content for them. It's you could play. There's three of them, and like Keegan, Ray. I don't remember the other person's name, but anyways, um, they they threw us out here. It's only like 3 hours to beat. If you have Game Pass, um, it comes with it for free with Game Pass on top of Gears 5. The DLC is free, and I was like, I didn't think the DLC part of that was in it for free. I was fully intending on buying. I think it's only like $10, and I was like, I was just gonna buy it, check it out, and then it's free. Fuck yeah! So I've been playing it. Boy, does this game make my Xbox Series X sound loud, or Xbox, not Series X, Xbox One X. Sorry. Um, Oh man, it sounds like my PS4 Pro. Playing Last of Us 2, just like fucking. I thought the thing was gonna take off in my TV stand, but played through all that. I think it's really good. The characters are fine. The story is not great. Like they come together really fast, and
Mm,
then they hate each other, but you don't like the two guys, Keegan and Ray, don't really like each other.
right.
But you know, like they really they go from like they really jump to hating each other really fast. It's like okay, that's why you like. I get you got like you don't dislike you guys don't like each other very much. That's fine. But it's like you guys really don't like each other really really fast after a few comments or decisions, and then like at the end they're family. I'm like, what the this is like how to at the end like you're my brother, and it's like I'm
Forced
spoiling it, I know,
feelings.
but it's whatever. I'm like this is not fucking Fast and Furious. You don't have 8 fucking movies to build this up of family. You have this is a 3 hour goddamn campaign, and I get it. It's short, it's whatever, and the story's fine, but it's like yeah, I don't play Gears. I like the characters in Gears. I think the story's been great in 3, 4, and 5. Um, for Gears, it's not like Last of Us or like a border not Tales of the Borderland or
But
Walking
yeah, you
Dead,
expect it to be like
Telltale game.
a good action movie type of story.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, on that scale of like an action game of what you want from like it's better than an a typical action game or like an action movie. And this is more on the level of what you expect from like an action movie kind of story where it's like we went some places really fast. I don't know why, but the mode to mode gameplay is really cool. I like it's just more gears really is all it is, and each one it's kind of more like the multiplayer where or more like a horde mode where like you're just fighting off a lot of it's fighting off waves of enemies. Each of them has um like cooldown and like special abilities with cooldowns in them. That's very similar to what you expect from like the horde mode, and yeah, it's fine. I think it's really good. If you guys are like, if you're somebody that's wanting just more gears, campaign, you could do 3 player online co-op, 3 player co-op. If you look for some, just want something more of that, it's there for you. I think it's really really good. It's like I said, it's not it's nowhere near I think on the level of the last few Gears like main campaign, but I love playing Gears. I love the gameplay. I love the loop of it, and it's just more of it. And I liked it a lot. Um, the other game, Gables. So I played through Gears 5 Hivebuster in like 2 sittings. I played like the first like 2 hours, and then I sat. I literally went to work Thursday, and they're like, "Oh, you don't. Yeah, just go home. We don't have anything for you." All right, fine. That works for me. Went home, knocked out the rest of it, like the last hour of it. Had a lot of fun with that. The other game I sat down. I played for about. I started kind of late on Thursday. Um, it's a game called Haven. It's on Game Pass as well. I downloaded it a couple weeks ago. I believe it came out on PC in like December, and it just came to like Game Pass and all the consoles, Switch, PS4, PS5, all those a few weeks ago. And I downloaded it at the same time I downloaded Gears 5, re-downloaded Gears 5 to play Hivebusters, and I played it for like 30 minutes or so Thursday night. I'm like, I like what I'm playing so far, but it was kind of too late in the evening to like really get invested in it. Like this is a
Right.
game I just need to come back to when I like it's earlier in the day. I have time to play. Like this is a game I feel like I want to give a shot to. Like
Yep.
I am interested, but I want to give this game a fair shot. And like I know if I keep playing it, and I'm like it's just, I'm not if I'm playing it trying to play it before bedtime, it's just not click for me. So anyways, fast forward to Saturday, I sat down about 12:30. Saturday, and next thing I know, it's 8:30 at night. I got tears in my eyes, and I'm watching the fucking credits roll on this game. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so I could not quit playing this fucking game. This was the game I needed, and I didn't know I needed. And it's like I like I said, I've tried jumping other games, and this wasn't clicking for me. And this was just the game I fucking needed to like snap me out of that slump I've been in of gaming, and just like getting invested in these characters and everything that's going on with it. So Haven, I showed you the some gameplay, and I showed you
Yes.
the intro, like the intro song, before we started recording. And so Haven, it's like uh, the two player. Well, you can play two players. I don't want to mention that, but I don't. It's in person two player. But I played it all one player. It's probably really more meant for one player, but it's possible to play with like it's like I was looking up shit about Haven before I played it, and there was like one of the games like people recommended to play like perfect Valentine's Day games to play with your partner, and like Haven was in there. So this is a game. It's two characters. There's K, the male, and you, the female. YU is how you spell her name. Um, and you're on this planet called and it's early in the game. They name it Source, and you don't really know why you're there. It's all a mystery, and you shit happens throughout the game as you learn more about it. But like, there's just weird shit going on with this game. Like, there's like what happened with this world, this planet you're in. Something happens, and like it breaks into like part of it breaks off into different. They're called islets, but they're like little islands. Like they're floating though in the sky, and I think there's like over 40, and but they're small. They're like you can traverse the whole thing in a minute or two, um, and you escape this like kind of like a dictatorship like planet you were on where like they matchmake you with people, and like these two people K and you are just absolutely in love with each other, and they escape in their ship called Nest to go on this planet so they can be together, because otherwise they would force them to go be with the people they're matchmaked with. And something happened, like there's like an earthquake happens, and then your ship gets like destroyed, so you can't even like you could still sleep in it, you can still got power, but you can't fly it. You can't do anything with it. So it's kind of like Pikmin in a way, where you gotta like find, like as you're traversing through these different islets, you have to find the pieces of the ship or find pieces to fix your ship, in a way. And like there are like sleep cycles and stuff like that. It's not like on a timer though. It's just like like as time goes on, you have to go to sleep. And a lot of the game is like in the back and forth conversations. Like a good chunk of the game is back and forth conversations where you can actually control the dialogue. And it's not like all dialogue like a Mass Effect or something like that where you pick everything they say, but like you can kind of pick the direction of the conversation. So you can pick like it starts off the conversation, and then like you can pick K's option. And like sometimes I don't really fully understand how it works out, but like it makes them like if you say something, you say this, you can K will feel confident or you will feel confident, and you can kind of pick the flow of the conversation, how it goes. And it's not like like I said, you're not picking everything they say, but it's like you pick this and that directs the conversation this way, and then you can pick this and it'll direct the conversation this way. You just kind of pick how you want to go. Anyways, um, the way the way these characters are they're two really great characters, which is a big. I mean, the game is just these two guys. They are two, male and female. This is it. This is all it is. And what really makes this game is them and how their relationship progresses, and um, them as characters, how they grow as a couple. Like it feels like it feels more like a couple that I've ever seen in like a video game, a movie, a TV show I've ever like. It feels so fucking real. Even though you're on this fake planet, it's super crazy like space shit, it's whatever. Like these two people and the way they like have a conversation about like, and like they reference, it's not like a dirty game at all, whatever. They don't like, there's some like, I mean, I wouldn't like a 10-year-old play this game, but like there are like, they mention like they talk about their sex life, they talk about things, and it's like, but they like it feel like, I like, or they have like an argument about something. It's like all this feels like real. Like I'm like, I think you play this game and you like, like it's like I've been in these situations. It feels organic. It doesn't feel like every argument or every stereotypical thing you've seen in a TV show or movie ever. It's just like, it's just like it feels like a real relationship. But these two are just like absolutely in love. It's like ridiculous. I am like, I hope one day, and this isn't a pity me thing at all. I hope one day I fucking find someone that makes me as happy, half as happy as you makes K happy, or K makes you happy. It's so fucking nuts how too much these two people love each other. If you want to feel alone, even if you're in a relationship, I think this will make you feel fucking alone. Like, oh man, like fuck, like these two are fucking fantastic people. They absolutely love each other. They just want to be with her 24/7. They are wonderful people. I love them both. But to get into like the nuts and bolts of the game, like I feel like the gameplay is fine. So like I said, it's like Pikmin. You're trying to find stuff to rebuild your ship and fix your ship, and then also the moment to moment stuff of like going around the island and like you get like there's rust covering the island and it makes like the creatures on the island kind of go nuts. And it's kind of like flour. And like there's this flow, this like blue like wave stuff you could like you have to like refill your boots with,
Hmm.
and you fly over you have to like you'll find it throughout as you're like traversing these islands and shit like that, and you have to also use a flow to like there'll be like like there's a mountain up there like a next level you can't get up, and you have to use the flow and follow the flow, but it zigzags, so you have to like follow it and you can drift a little bit to like help you kind of keep traversing to get up to that level. um, but also like with the rust on the ground, it's like this red shit, and you have to fly over it. And it's like this is where the flower part kind of kicks in, where you want to like get rid of the rust. You don't have to. It's all you get. It's a good way to like grind for resources and shit. Not really grind, but like you get resources you can use to like give yourself like healing item, like to create healing items also that you need it to like fix your ship. But you fly around, you fly over the rust with your boots and your flow you have, and it like gets rid of the rust on each of the areas.
Right.
And there's a bunch of little small islets, but like I said, they're very small. And then like you can actually like I said, it makes the some of the creatures in the game go crazy, and you have to battle some of them, but you don't kill them. And then this is where like the gameplay part is. It's like it's an active. I don't want to say turn based, but it's active. Because I don't really fully understand sometimes how the timing works out. Because some enemies attack faster than others. Some you don't know when they're going to attack. Some like they have like almost like a build up. Like you can see like based off their movement, like they're going to attack me here in a second. Like they have like almost kind of like when you do like a solar beam or something in Pokemon, where it's like, all right, they're skipping a turn kind of thing. Like they're
Right.
charging up for an attack. Um, and you can use things to like knock them off, like to like kind of like confuse them in a way where like you knock them and it kind of like stuns them a little bit, and like you can do more damage when you stun them. And like you control both characters at the same time. Like the left analog stick controls K, the right analog stick controls U, but you're not moving around. But you pick like left will be blast, which is like you do like a beam with the flow from a distance, and you hit them with like a light. Impact is like you fly up and you hit them, you punch them or kick them. You use shield, where like shield will like block the attacks for both characters. So you hold shield down, but you have bars you got to fill up. So it takes a few seconds to fill up these bars. So this is where like the timing comes in, and you can use shield to like so that way like one person keep attacking and doesn't have to worry about taking damage. And like you take a lot less damage if you're shielding. Um, then there's a pacify. So once you knock out the enemy, you pacify them. That means that
Hmm.
you just basically like I don't it just takes them out of the battle. But if you don't pacify the enemy after you knock out all their HP, they'll come back after a certain amount of time. Some enemies come back within a few seconds. Some enemies come back after 20 or 30 or a minute. So it's all about like timing, where it's like, all right, this guy's about to get knocked out, so I'm gonna have K. I'm gonna fill up his blast, but I'm also gonna be filling up U's pacify the bar. So as soon as I hit the blast with K, I have the pacify ready to go to pacify the enemy. So that way they don't
Hmm.
come back, because they come back
I
really
see.
fast. So it's all about working strategy. Each enemy has their own way you gotta defeat them. But you have like an XP bar that you fill up, but it's really more about like the more XP you build up, it's more about like it jumps more into like dealing with like the characters. You learn more about their backstory, more about them. They have
Right.
conversations. Every time
Right. Right.
you fill up the bar and you like level up, you you just get drunk. Your characters just get drunk together, and like you learn more about them, and like they have like deep conversations. They're kind of really progress. Like it isn't how you don't have to fill it up. Like it's a different. I got the achievement for filling it up just because I wanted to like I want to spend more time with these characters as possible. Um, but like I filled it up, and it's just more about like you just learn more about the characters, and like you like your attacks will get better and stuff like that. But I think there's only like you only do it like 5 or 6 times, and you max it out. But really you fill up your bar more, like your XP bar more, from like having these conversations, um, and like just like most like the battles when you win a battle against like generic enemies, like the amount you fill your bar up is so fucking tiny that like it's actually like because K is actually a really good cook and use the engineer. So K, like you find these you find apple dews or you find bobo nuts or you find all these different things throughout as you're traveling, and you can use these bobo nuts to cook different recipes, and you don't know what they'll make. You don't know if you will like them, but if you like them a lot, you'll get more experience points that way, and you can get a lot more experience points from just doing that. But you can't just eat all the time. As you like actually travel around more of the world, you get hungry and hungrier, which actually comes into it like if you've been going out there fighting a lot and just traveling a lot, you haven't gone back to the ship for a while, like it actually makes them hungry, and your bar as you're fighting will fill up slower. So it actually has an impact on all that as well. It's like it makes battling more challenging if you just keep going without going back to the ship and stuff like that. And they even say at the beginning, I want to point out like they say this game is not meant to be a challenging game, which it's not. I beat the game without not getting knocked out once. There's a few times I got close, but it's more just me. Um, I ran out of healing items, but I kept going, kept going, kept going because I want to go back to my ship. And then the frustration at the beginning is like sometimes like how much traversing you have to do to like get back and forth between places because it's like all like it's almost like it's kind of like a Metroid style, like Castlevania style, where like everything feels far away to get to, and it's annoying to go back to these locations. But eventually, if you explore enough, it all kind of like wraps around. So like there's shortcuts you can get. You can jump right back and forth to like get to these locations. There's camps you can like go and you can cook at like as you're traversing the world, and like eventually there's fast travel, but I don't really care much for the fast travel in the game. But because eventually if you traverse enough, you don't need to fast travel. Fast traveling is actually like a waste of time because you got to cook something, give it to this animal, and he'll fly you to a section.
Right.
Um, but instead of wasting items, I'm just like it'll take me 20 seconds because I've checked out enough islets that everything kind of like it's so close together. Like I don't need to like it to get from here to I'm gonna try and get the camera here. From here to here, like this would have taken me a long time to get there. But now I've gone up here, down here, up here, like and everything all now is like together. So it's like boom, boom, and the islet, like I said, the islets are so small you can just get there in like 2 minutes. And you're gonna see a lot of loading screens, but the loading screens are like 4 seconds. They're so fucking fast. They're very short. And the loading screens are adorable. It's just the two characters in like weird situations. Um, but yeah, man, I love this game. Like I love these characters. I love this. Like I always talk, like I talk about, like sometimes you get those small indie games that kind of come out of nowhere and just like take over you. Like you just get invested in. Like it's like one of those games. Like it's like a Celeste to me, or like playing through Telltale's Walking Dead the first time, or Life is Strange, where it's just like I absolutely loved this game, and I could not. I can't believe like it just came like or Forgotten Animal, where it just came out of nowhere for me, and just like
Right.
as soon as I was done with it, I was like I went on Reddit, which I never do. I go on Reddit, but I don't really write in there. I went on Reddit. I went on the Haven Games Reddit thing. I went on a couple other places. And I'm like, I just like one of these games I got done playing. And it's like I don't know if like you ever get this way, Gables, or other gamers do, where it's like you get done like or like you watch a movie or a TV show. It's like you just want to go fucking tell everybody about how great this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was me. I was like, it was like this is me like on. It's like like the internet version of me standing on top of a rooftop shouting how great this fucking game is. Like I was going on like I went on the Haven thing, just did this whole long fucking thing about how I love this game. I went on other places. I'm like, guys, play this fucking communities. I'm like, play this fucking game. It's so good. And it's like I've like listened to the whole soundtrack on YouTube today. Like it is fantastic. It's by a gaming company called Game Bake. They made Fury, which was like a
Oh.
PS Plus game
Oh
like
yes,
like
that game.
5 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah, like I liked I remember checking out because I love the art style of it, and I was just like it's a boss rush game. I couldn't get past like the third, fourth boss. Like I just wasn't gonna. But remember liking the game. I talked about in the game years ago, and I was like I'm not good at this game. But yeah, I these characters are so fucking good. The art and the music in this game is top fucking notch. I adore this game, and I'm just like I am all about this game. And you have like the creatures are adorable. You have an adorable little pet that you name Oink, and I love him very much. Um, But yeah, and there's two endings that can happen in this game. There's a good and a bad ending. Um, and like, yeah, I don't want to say, well, I'm gonna stop myself there because I not really spoiled something, but it could be a spoiler. But yeah, I adore this fucking game, and it's on Game Pass. It's $25 everywhere else. If you have Game Pass, just go out and look up the opening like music video for this game when you start when you boot the game up, and if that intrigues you, then look up some gameplay of it. But I don't know, even the gameplay, like like I said, the moment to moment gameplay is okay, and it's definitely one of those things where like I feel like if I tried to 100% this game, like before I finished it, I would have fell off of it. Like I would like because the gameplay is not something I want to do for long stretches of time because it's not
Right.
like I said the battling is not very hard, but like it can get difficult just if you go too long, like cause you just want to keep going, keep going, but eventually your characters get hungry or you got to go back and you go sleep. It's like it's the moment to moment stuff of like just when your characters are talking, it's just like I didn't look at my phone once. Like I do this all. I'll play a game and I'll like as soon as like a cutscene pops on or load screen, I'm like look at my phone, whatever, scrolling through, and it's like I didn't want to look at my phone. I was just so engrossed with these characters. I didn't want to miss any of the dialogue, anything they're saying. They want to fuck up the choices I made and what they're saying. This game is top notch. 10 out of 10 masterpiece to me. Yeah. And then I played it. Yeah, I played fucked on that, and then I started. I jumped back in the. I feel like 5 hours of God of War today because they did the PS5 patch
Oh.
a couple weeks ago. So it's 4K 60 frames per second, which it's sexy as fuck, but not as sexy as K and U. But yeah. Anyways, that is what I've been playing this week. Any questions, Gables, before we move on
Um,
to you?
Honestly, not really too much questions. I mean, I know the gameplay and the battle mechanics seem very
Yeah,
interesting inside of Haven and seem like more like a turn-based type of thing that I saw from the initial footage. But definitely, it definitely feels like a game that should be at least give a try, especially if you
yeah,
have Game Pass. I mean, $25. I mean, hell, if the quality's there, which it sounds like it is, at least it's going to be worth a shot in order to for someone on the outsider looking in, looking like they want
yeah,
to play something a bit different. But
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I was almost gonna go on PS5 and just buy it on PS5 just to give them money. I'm like, please take my money. I don't feel like I played it on Game Pass. I don't feel like you got my money. So yeah,
the time
I
where you
probably
play a game for free and you really feel like you want to give the devs money.
yeah. I feel bad. I feel legitimately bad. I rarely do I play a game on Game Pass or PS Plus. I'm like fuck, whatever. I've never felt that way where I'm like I should probably give them money, but now I feel like I should give them money. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
All right.
What have you been playing,
So,
buddy?
so in regards to what I've been playing, played a little bit more of Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. I have gone through. I've gone through World 2, and I know I've done half of World 3. The game is still incredibly fun to play. I'm remembering tidbits of here and there when I first played it initially on the Wii U. I'm finding myself exploring all of the level terrains like from each stage because it's so interesting for me just to go and try to explore little crevices and seeing if I can rediscover the secret spots in a lot of the areas in order to get the green stars, the different stamps, and other types of reference. Like inside of one stage in World 2, if you go towards like the little underground stage or something like that, and you climb up as Cat Mario, you can actually see the little sprite of like a NES Mario,
Oh,
like going like just standing and then crouching over and over again. And what's kind of interesting is there was another stage in that same world, I believe, where as soon as you get the pole and you go down and stuff, there's a little fire Luigi, a miniature fire Luigi sprite that just flashes a little bit, kind of like a confetti. But yeah, the definitely the game feels very fantastic. It's kind of the same thing that I was stating about last week, where I've played little bits, gameplay's still good. The new content in that regards I haven't quite experienced yet, but I do feel that the game is a bit faster. I do feel that the game definitely has more like ease of use type of stuff that the Wii U stuff hadn't. And I'm specifically talking about the access to if you want to play online, you can play online. I haven't tried the online feature yet, in terms of playing co-op with someone, but I may do that eventually. But in regards to what I played from stage, the whole entirety of World 2 to World 3, I mean, the game's been an absolute blast. I found myself a couple days ago after I woke up, took the dog out, got in, started playing a little bit of the Switch. I just powered on the game, and it was so relaxing actually because I was exploring little bits of things from like World 2. Finally got all the stars out of World 2. And one thing I didn't realize is when I was checking the little menu from like clicking specific
Heads.
stats and what you need to do, it actually keeps track of the top of flagpoles that you get. And
You get the gold
so,
flag, don't you?
what's up?
Don't you get a
Yeah,
gold flag at
yeah.
the top? Yeah.
There's actually a little marker where you can, if you want to, get all the gold flags inside of a specific world. And I think I've only have missed one so far, and that was like 1-4, stage 1-4. But still good. A game that I actually started up because I was testing a lot of my 360 and Xbox One stuff just to make sure the games play on my console. So a little update from last week. Yeah, the only games that did not work on my Xbox One console was my copy of original Mass Effect and the copy of original Bioshock, which I'm assuming now is the discs. But it's no big loss. Honestly, if I really wanted to, I could just buy the compilation thing for Mass Effect in May. I could possibly get like the same for Bioshock collection, whether or not for PS4 or even for like Switch, since that's readily available. But speaking of Xbox stuff, I decided for some reason to put in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and I decided to power it on, try it out, because back in the day, I only went towards the closing of the first Oblivion gate. So I've spent roughly around 8 hours with this game. I decided to choose some character class that's a little bit different, so I've ended up going with a acrobat in terms of a class. So how that came about, I played the first portion of the game, and I realized that in Oblivion, I hadn't, I forgot that there are specific tasks that you can do which automatically levels up like an attribute for your character. So, for example, if you crouch down and you're like in sneaking mode, and there's like an enemy or some person like nearby, you can actually increase your sneaking skill the longer that you keep doing it. So here's a funny thing. Because I realized that, I had a little thing of rubber bands, and I decided because I was watching YouTube on my PS4 Pro, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the rubber band, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna set it aside, and I'm gonna watch some YouTube.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I did that for about an hour. I kept checking back to and from, and I had gotten my stat up from where it was originally, and now currently I'm almost to 90 in regards to the sneaking stat.
Couldn't you do the same thing with like you jumped, you increased your like agility or something like
Yes.
that?
Yes. The more you use a specific type of action or a specific type of like attribute, the higher in skill you can actually increase it. Like for example, there's a little glitch where if you use restoration magic for like trying to heal yourself over and over again, you can press a select button, like you can flash forward an hour and you do the same thing again, you can actually increase your freaking stat that way. But that was one of the ease of use things from Oblivion that I had totally forgotten about, and it actually has made me play the game a little bit more in that regards. But I'm kind of in that. I'm kind of in the camp right now where it's like, yeah, I know the game looks like shit because it's a game from 2005. It doesn't have a lot of the like visual upgrades or the much love put into it like it did for like Skyrim. But the things I'm noticing right off the bat, a lot of selectable classes, like a lot of choice in terms of what you want to go into. You could be an acrobat, you could be an assassin, you could be a thief, you could be like different types of like almost the same type of character, if that makes sense. But I know in Skyrim it was kind of different to where the classes were sort of like reduced down in that retrospect, where you could be like a warrior, you could be a mage, you can be like a thief or a rogue or whatever the hell. But what's really funny is as soon as I got my stat, my stat for like my sneaking skill up to around 80. I'm now focusing upon like say my lockpicking skills, like one-handed like items, like one-handed like weapon use and this and that. But I've started to grow more accustomed to the bow because I've played Destiny 2 so much, and one of my favorite weapons to use is actually the combat bow. That I started using the crossbow and stuff like that, like an actual normal bow, and it's almost has like the same effect to where I can judge the distance. I can go through. I can just snipe something across the map, and like what's kind of hilarious is when I finally was able to get that first main mission done to where I can close my first Oblivion gate. That was basically what I was doing. I was sneaking around, upgrading a little bit of my sneak snat, and like I was using arrows to pick off like imps and pick up like demons and stuff like that. Just take them out, then use it that way. What I'm finding more interesting about it is like it's the same type of like an Elder Scroll experience to where you're exploring this huge, vibrant land. There's a lot of things you can pick up, a lot of things you can do. The storyline stuff, I'm only like two or like a little bit into, but I'm feeling like I'm going to be going through a lot of exploration and seeing what I can do. And I'm just basically seeing how far this game's gonna push me forward to go. Wanting to go.
Nice.
But the last game that I have been playing a lot of, which I was kind of surprised I spent a long portion of time playing this week, was Fire Pro Wrestling
Oh,
Returns.
cool.
Dude, the game on PS4, I picked it up like dirt cheap, like about a couple months ago, and I hadn't really put a lot of time into it because of other games at the time, other stuff. I decided to create my own league in regards to with this whole CPUs and myself and stuff. And I had set it up to where I have every single like wrestler. Like, here's how the league works, right? It's like you can create a specific number of characters you want in this league. So you at least need about like three teams or whatsoever. But each individual person is like a individual team. So I have the amount of fighters currently available, which is like 64. So there's 64 teams, right? And they're all one-on-one matches. So how I'm doing it is like I have one character that I'm controlling, which I'm playing as like Kazuchika Okada. So Okada, I'm like playing matches with him, and everyone else is all CPU. I'm finding out that I can actually accomplish a whole bunch of different tasks, like different types of like conditions to unlock trophies just by watching the CPU battle. Because there's no option to actually simulate the matches. I'm finding
Oh,
out, so you can skip on to the next one or skip on to the next one or this or that for all the CPU versus CPU matches. And so here I am. I'm watching these matches, and I'm getting freaking engrossed in it because the combat and the wrestling style and the different variety of wrestlers that are involved, it actually makes it so exciting to watch it, even though you may not be playing the game. You'll see a lot of see a lot of the wrestlers do various actions, actually go through and like do all these pinning attempts, all these modified like submission holds, all the tossing characters out of the ring and stuff. And after every match is completed, you're given a ranking in regards to how much, like percentage wise, how good the match was in regards to the back and forth, like hassle. I think the lowest I've seen is like 63%, and that was one of the matches that where I won and stuff. So I've played about 17 matches so far as Kazuchika Okada. Won all of them, obviously. The difficulty stuff is actually fairly good. It's not like overbearing or something like that, but I'm getting more used to the combat and a lot of the things I can do. Let's see. In regards to trophy unlocks and stuff, I'm actually to the point now where I've satisfied unlocked a trophy for like 50 appearances. What's kind of hilarious, and this actually happened to where I left the game running right on one of the CPU matches. I took my dog out to go use the bathroom
to
outside.
go.
Yep, yep. Little
German taco.
trash digging little German taco
Did you make like
is
kielbasa burritos or something? He's like, oh fuck yeah, man.
no, but I wouldn't be surprised if the dog actually wanted to like eat something of that sort. But anyway, after I get done with that, I come back inside. The whole match is done and over with, and I see as a percentage was 100%. I'm like, okay, so I'm gone, and I missed the CPU have a 100% match, the of match rating of 100%.
Slash match.
And what's hilarious, that was the first trophy that I actually have earned without actually playing it myself. So I checked my trophy thing, and it's like 15 minutes ago. You got you got like 100% match rating inside of a match. I'm like, I didn't even play it.
This
The highest I've ever gotten is like a 91% that I've played a match and it's back and forth. But
is like when I got the platinum in I am Mayo by hitting the X button 1,000 times.
no, actually, it's not like that. But it's
I
like,
just want to mention that I am Mayo is easy platinum, and that you should try to do that.
yeah, it's one of the easiest platinums you can actually earn,
Takes like 10 minutes.
alongside of like other games on PSN. But no, for Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, the trophies they can be a little bit monotonous for some, especially if you want to try to find some of the fight with online for like your debut match. That was a very rare thing. Yes.
I'm putting my hand up as in I'm volunteering to play you online. I bought the game at full price like 3 years ago, and
Yep.
regretted it within like 3 hours. Even though I like the game, it's just not worth $60. And I
Right.
to finally appease my purchase from over 3 years ago. I play with you online.
Okay. Yeah, man, that sounds
All right.
fine. Plus, we can actually test to see how the game handles like the online in that retrospect. What's kind of funny is I tried initially getting that trophy online first and foremost, but I've had trouble like finding like people to actually play games with. However, I was able to unlock that one trophy just randomly off the cuff because I had to create my own custom match,
Yeah.
right? Like a single player, this and that. As soon as I see the dude pop up, I'm like, okay, select the character, this and that. Okay, let's go. And basically, I just let him win the match, and it's like, okay, you're good. No, but I'm finding myself really getting into not only structuralizing how the matches are going to go through and roll through, but I'm actually getting more like excited trying to build up like a prestige for like certain title stuff. Because a fun fact is when you get this game initially, there's nobody, like no one is like a champion, it's all vacant. So you can actually go and decide who's going to be the champion based upon what you want to do. Like say you want to determine the tag team champions or something like that in a tournament structured like maybe with 32 like with 32 teams, you can do that through a process of like a round robin sort of like tournament elimination whatsoever. Or you want to decide the junior heavyweight like IWGP junior heavyweight title like I did by having a whole bunch of CPUs for like an over the top rope battle
Yeah.
royal.
Yeah. It's cool. You can basically do the G1 without actually calling it the G1.
Yes, that's what I like about it. I mean, I like that freedom of choice, and I love how the game plays good enough to where it feels more akin to what I used to experience with No Mercy in that regards, where you can counter different types of moves with a single button. You can go and try to do combination moves and this and that. I haven't played in an actual tag team match. I've only watched some bit of the tag team match stuff unfold. But what I've noticed, there are specific matches where it takes sometimes like around 20, 30 minutes just to complete like a one-on-one. But the CPU, if you get them like a tag team match, they'll put on a fantastic tag team match, but they'll last like sometimes 40
Yeah.
minutes per match. Where, hey, you had a lot of good entertainment going through and doing this and doing that and stuff like that. But yet, wow, sometimes the matches go on and it feels like very entertaining, right? But it takes a long time in order for the thing to actually go through its process with it. But yeah, I tried it over the top rope battle royal thing with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, which that's all set. I got a current tag team like tournament thing going on to where I'm trying to find out who's going to be the junior tag team champions. But there is a single player mode in this regards. I've played a little bit of that. I'm up to there's actually two story modes. You have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and then you have the Heavyweight title. I went with the juniors, and immediately from the get go, you go into this training school and stuff, and you have two teachers that are going to be softly introducing you to a lot of the different roles and the things you got to do. One being the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger, who is now retired. Actually, last year was his retirement year. He had one last match and stuff, and he's finished. He's put in so many years of dedication to his craft. It's ridiculous. And then you have another like famous junior heavyweight with Kushida, fantastic wrestler as well, very well loved. But you get to meet different types of throughout this whole campaign and stuff. You get to meet a whole bunch of different types of like junior heavyweight champions or junior heavyweight like fighters and stuff. A lot of them are just strictly that division, but there are some that delve and go into the heavyweight stuff. And the whole appeal for this junior heavyweight things is like for a long time in New Japan Pro Wrestling, that was the title that people sought after for like years because of how much of the caliber of quality of matches were accumulated because of that. The prestige with different fighters going like after this was fantastic. But going to the different missions and stuff, you create your own fighter. You go and do what you got to do in regards to do training. You select different training options to improve certain stats. You can simulate like your own move sets and stuff. There are templates in which you can go and choose the type of fighter you want, like say a powerful fighter or a technical fighter or even more like a high flyer. The choice is pretty much yours, but I will say the create a character mode is definitely robust. You can basically choose a lot of different parts of different types of like structural parts to create your own unique looking character. Like say you can create different types of wrestlers if you want to from like other promotions. Fire Pro Wrestling is synonymous with its own customizations like for years in regards to creating wrestlers that almost look like the ones say from other like organizations, but their names are completely different. Like for example, on the PS2 version of Fire Pro Wrestling Returns and stuff like that, you had guys that looked like Andre the Giant, looked like the Road Warriors, looked like this and that. This game's no different, but it actually encourages you to go into the character create and edit a whole bunch of their different like characters that they've had for like a specific division because there are some characters that obviously their name kind of wonky. There's actually one character that made me laugh while I was watching the simulation. There's a character by the name of Bobby Bobby.
Solid name. So nice. Yeah, name it twice.
Dude, it's Bobby Bobby, but he kind of reminds me of Kofi Kingston because he's very fast. He kind of moves like a high flyer and stuff, and he has sort of similar sort of moves to that of Kofi Kingston. But what I'm saying is, in terms of filling that need for a good quality wrestling game that I've been looking for, so far it's this Fire Pro Wrestling from like 2017, 2018 or something like that. This game is actually filling that need quite nicely, and it's actually exceeding a lot of different portions. I still gotta finish the single player stuff. I'm trekking through this whole league match stuff because my initial intent is trying to go through this whole 64 like characters, all these matches and stuff, and the total amount of points I'm going to go through and just take them off into like some sort of huge like payoff because I want that to be linked to like the heavyweight championship for that for that league stuff that I'm trying to do. So that's it for what I've been playing. Fire Pro Wrestling, obviously, Super Mario 3D World, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Really diverse sort of games that I've played this week.
We've had a very weird amalgamation. I don't know. I'm making up words. But we've had a very weird bunch of games we played this week, you and I both. I'm playing God of War, Gears, and Haven. And you're playing Mario, Fire Pro.
Right?
So, in Oblivion, yeah. So it's been a weird week.
Platformers, RPGs, and freaking fighting
Yeah,
games.
yeah. But it's that time of year. It's late February. I do want to. I meant to put this at the top of the show, but I just want to put something on real fast here. I feel almost naked.
Ah. You're metal.
Yeah. So for the audio listeners, I got my Extra Life medal. It's very shiny in the camera here. For
Nice.
2020, my gold medal for raising $1,000. I just want to say thank you to everybody that donated to me and helped me reach it. You can see back here, and if you're watching, right there is, I think that's 2018. I have 2017 on the other side. So this is my third one. I was $30 short last year, or in 2019, of getting a silver medal, which to this day still bothers me. I'm also repping my Extra Life shirt. I have like I've talked about before. I have a ridiculous amount of Extra Life shirts. It's not even funny. I could probably wear a different Extra Life shirt on this podcast every week for about 3 months and not wear the same one twice. I could probably have a whole closet of just Extra Life stuff that I can wear at this point. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, it's ridiculous. But I'm very close. I want to get the new shirt for this year. If you get $200, is very nice, very nice. I want to get it, so I want to add that to my collection. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Thank you guys so much for donating, making that happen for me. I love these medals. It's favorite thing we do every year. So hopefully get add number 4 to the collection this year. And check out extra-life.org to sign up or donate now for 2021. They're actually it was cool. Extra Life tweeted out earlier this week that Iowa is already like shattering records
Oh,
for this year, which is incredible. I don't know why or what's going on. If we have more people donating or more people participating than ever before. I'm usually in like the top like 5 every year when I participate. So there's people that are just they do way better than me. I'm always in like the top 2 or 3, and then game day happens, and I'm usually like 1 or 2 on game day going into it, and then I'll go look the day after game day, and I'm 5 by a large margin. So, um, yeah, that's awesome. So I'm really happy about that. Uh, Save those kids. But moving into some news here. Not a lot after we had the direct this week, but I just want to touch upon real fast. We're about 4 days now removed from the direct. When we talked, it was just a few hours. You came right off of watching direct, and I had about 4 or 5 hours after the direct. Is there anything like just a quick wrap up here, like anything opinion wise changed on you, or are you just kind of feeling overall the same about it? You gave it a 9 out of 10, so
right. Well, honestly, I feel the same about that direct as how I'm feeling right now, to where I feel like it was definitely strong in terms of the variety of stuff that was presented. I did like a lot what was happening inside of it, regardless of what certain aspects of it people may not like. I mean, for example, it's like I understand people don't like Skyward Sword as that much. Some people consider it one of the worst Zeldas. I personally do not agree with that sentiment because I still hold that the Philips CDI games,
well,
those are
take
trash.
take those out of the
Those
equation
things,
though. Would you put it at the bottom still, not including CDI?
no, no, I would not put Skyward Sword at the
What would you
bottom. I mean,
what would you put
my argument.
below Sky? I want to know where you are with Sky. Today is the 35th anniversary as we're recording of Zelda, and I want to know Gables. I don't want to know the top 5. I want to know the bottom 3 Zelda games.
Dude, I'll tell you this right now, where I may have played my fair share of Zelda games, but I haven't played through a lot of them. But I tell you what, man, the bottom three. Well, let's see. Honestly, the bottom three is going to probably surprise a lot of people, but
Four Swords Adventures.
Phantom
Yeah,
Hourglass, Spirit
yeah, those are
Tracks,
bottom 2.
and if I had to really put into perspective, honestly, it's probably like Triforce Heroes.
Okay,
I'm talking about the
yeah,
one where that's on the
yeah,
3DS
that
and
game is
stuff.
garbage. All right. Mainline Zeldas.
Okay, so mainline Zeldas,
Bottom
obviously.
3
So,
given to me.
okay, well, I've already said about two of them, right? So it's like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are mainline.
Console Zelda games.
Console.
Bottom 3.
Console
Bottom
Zeldas.
3.
Oh boy, oh
I really
Oh
just trying to
boy.
work you into putting Skyward Sword in your bottom 3. That's all I'm trying to do at this point.
I know that's what you're trying to do, and what's kind of hilarious about it is like, it probably would be inside the bottom three, but I don't think it
See?
would be the
Boom,
worst.
done. Guys, Gables hates Skyward Sword. Told you.
No, I do not hate Skyward
I'm
Sword.
politicking
I've
my
only
way.
played like maybe an hour of the damn game at
That,
most.
that's why
And
it's you
funny
don't like
enough,
it. You've only played an hour of it and you don't like it. See, boom, bad game, terrible game, and I gotta play it because I've been promising my best friend for 10 years that I play this
I
fucking game.
know.
If you put it on goddamn buttons, and now I gotta pay $60. I fucking pre-ordered the fucking Joy Cons already. Fuck me. What am I doing? What is this? Oh, fuck off with your
That's my copy of Skyward
Gables
Sword that
just
I've
pulled up
had
for
for
audio
years.
listeners his box copy for the Wii of Skyward Sword, still in the packaging to prove that he's never played the game because it's so bad. He's
And what's kind of hilarious about it is like I still have
your receipt. You
the 25th anniversary like
nice.
CD.
The receipt's in there. You might want to. Maybe we can take it back and get your money back.
That's far removed though, but
Probably worth more
I
than
will
that.
say it's like, yeah, I've had this game. It's in great condition. I've only played an hour of this over the past 9 years of owning it.
Yeah.
But that's just me and like how burnt out I was of the Wii towards the end of its life cycle. But what I'm saying more or less is like from the direct that we had, I'm fairly excited to play Skyward Sword. And that's mostly because of the right analog stick, like
Yeah.
motions, with the sword and this and that. But I haven't really changed too much about the Smash reveal character. Was I disappointed that it wasn't any other type of character? I mean, hell, when you come off of like Steve from Minecraft and Sephiroth and stuff from Final Fantasy VII, I mean, anything's gonna feel like a downgrade in that retrospect.
Yeah.
But I still maintain that Mira was definitely a good addition in that regards because it provides more support for Xenoblade Chronicles as a series, which Sakurai did go on record to say that he was looking at putting in another character from that series in and of itself. But we still got three, I want to
Two.
say, or was it two?
Two.
Yeah, we still got about two more fighters left to unveil. Obviously, one of the two is more than likely going to be a huge third-party character that we probably have been wanting for years, or we probably never even thought of.
Dream
But
guy. Make it happen.
but yeah, I'm very excited still about Mario Golf. That Mario Golf game, I want to play the hell out of.
Mm.
No More Heroes 3, that's something I'm going to play the hell out of come August. So I was looking at the list of it, where after that direct, I started looking at the games that I'm going to want to play. So obviously, for the end of this month, whether or not I play this on PS4 or Switch, Persona 5 Scramble, that's a given. Next month, Monster Hunter Arise. Monster Hunter Rise. During March, that's going to be a fun game to try to play. I played the demo of it. That looks fantastic. April, not really. Oh, yeah, the new Pokemon Snap game. That is going right there. May, not really too sure. That's probably going to be a gimme month to where I'm
Mass
probably
Effect.
may invest into something
Mass
else.
Effect. Resident
Probably.
Evil 8.
It's probably more than likely going to be Mass
Yeah.
Effect. I could clearly say from now all the way to like around September, there is a game in every month where I could potentially
Yeah.
play from, and that's something I could not say for last year with the whole COVID stuff, the whole this and that for the crap and all
Yeah.
the other
Well,
slow to the gaming
you
industry.
pretty much just had Animal Crossing and Persona 5 like in March, and then you were set till like October. So
That's very true. And that's because of how strong I felt about both of those games to where they lasted throughout all of that
yeah,
time.
yeah,
um,
yeah. No,
so,
sorry.
what were you thinking?
My opinion is about the same, and I do want to point out for the record that like I feel like I've defended the $60 price point for Skyward Sword, and I don't want to say defended because I'm not trying to defend it because I don't think it's fair, and I don't like I know it's 4 or not 4 it's 60 frames per second, it's HT blah blah blah, and they added bug controls blah blah, and but it's $60. It's $60. I'm not mad about it. I assumed it was going to be. I assumed Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are going to be $60 as well, a piece. And it's like I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right, but it's just like maybe because I expected it. But it's like I've seen a lot of people like uh, not really outraged, but like shocked and some outrage about the price point. But I'm just like, it's Nintendo. I mean, their prices of their games don't go down. Mario Kart 8 sold
No.
10 million copies last year. Why would they lower the price? And I'm not defending any of these, but it's just like they also know that like people buy Nintendo consoles primarily to play Nintendo games. They're going to come out
Yep.
and people are going to buy them, and that's just how it is. But I will say this though, like my argument for not being right is like we look at Mass Effect Legendary Edition's coming out in May 14th to be exact, and you look at that's three fucking big ass 40, 50 hour games, more if you
Yep.
want more if you want to do everything, and a piece 40, 50 hour games. Like I'm going to put 100 plus hours in these three games easily, and they're totally redoing Mass Effect 1 to like bring up the update the gameplay of it, and also making these games 4K 60 frames per second on last gen consoles. And it's gonna be $60. You look at the 3D All Stars collection we had just last year. Did the same exact thing that we're talking about with Mario Galaxy. They HD'd it. They put button controls in it, and they put Mario Sunshine, which hasn't been playable in anything besides GameCube ever for
Yep.
almost 20 years. They put it on there, and then they also threw in 3D or Mario 64 as well, and that whole package is $60. So to me, like I'm not trying to defend it, but I'm just trying to say I don't know why people are shocked at this point of the price points of these games. And I'm not, like I said, I think I'm not gonna throw a fit about it just because I know Nintendo and that's just how Nintendo is. But it's like if this game was $40, would like I mean I'm gonna buy it $60, so I can't really bitch too much about it. I'd but if it was $40, I'd say it's more fair. Um, especially when people are like pointing out like it was on when it came out in the Wii, it came with a gold joy. You can get a gold Wiimote and the game for $70, and now
Yep.
if you want the game and the Joy Cons, it's $140. So, uh, just kind of whatever. Um, so yeah, that
$80 for one, 60 for the other.
yeah, some of the Joy-Con the controllers are more expensive than the game, but
Yeah.
yeah, my opinion stays the same. Otherwise, I just want to point that out for the record. Is I just feel like I'm defending it too much when I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just trying to like this is just as someone that pays attention to gaming and knows Nintendo for as long as my entire life. It's just whatever. But a quick thing I want to touch. One thing I forgot to mention on the Nintendo Direct reaction show we did a few days ago was I was kind of disappointed
Okay.
by the lack of Pokemon news, because also this week is the
Right.
Pokemon anniversary for the 25th anniversary. Um, it's like Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap is coming out April 30th. I thought we'd like, we saw like Monster Hunter Rise, like, hey, here's the thing. But the Default comes out next week. Here's the thing about it. Like, they always like touch upon games that are coming out soon on these directs. And it's like, well, why is a new Pokemon Snap in here? Well, I didn't think about it. Pokemon Day, the anniversary is on Saturday. The
Yep.
my calendar isn't there anymore.
27th.
27th. Thank you. I used to have a calendar right here, but then I put it down and I have a picture of Louis there now. Much better.
I have literally a calendar right in front of
Okay,
me.
thank you. But so that's what Gables is here for. His mom giving out late breaking news, and he has a calendar. Um, but anyways, um, yeah, so February 27th, that is Pokemon Day. I remember like the 20th anniversary, they announced Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow coming to 3DS, I believe, and then also they like twitched to the
Yeah.
24-hour stream thing. I remember that was a really cool day where like they announced all the shit, like all the games. I don't think they announced on the day, but the games came out on that day, and then like we played it on 3DS all the day, and then like Justin came over.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Justin was on the show. He came over to my house, and we would record the show, and we were watching Twitch on my TV and fucking playing the game together. All of us, it was a good day. It was a good
Dude,
time.
that was
Yeah,
fun.
it was a good time. But anyways, I'm just wondering, maybe we're gonna see some new Pokemon Snap because all we've gotten really is an announcement last year in a direct, I want to say, or last year just that we had to write them. They announced it, and then or they did that weird Pokemon thing last year, and then we had a trailer like a month ago when they gave out the date. And other than that, we haven't had anything. We've seen a little bit of gameplay. So I'm wondering if we're just gonna like I'm not expecting pie in the sky stuff here, but I don't think we're gonna if something happens at Pokemon Day, I don't foresee a big Pokemon announcement as far as like the next Pokemon game, because usually we get those. I don't know. I mean things are different now, but we used to always get it like 2 weeks before the E3. They'd always announce the Pokemon game for that year. So they'd always do like a Pokemon Direct a couple weeks for E3 to get the Pokemon stuff out of the way. But maybe things are different now. I don't know. But and also COVID, it seems like Nintendo's probably been hit hardest by by COVID than of the big three companies in gaming. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I think we'll just maybe see some uh, new Pokemon Snap stuff. Maybe we'll hear more about that Pokemon MOBA game if we get anything at all. Are you expecting anything for Pokemon Day? Because I don't feel like
Yes.
real fast. I'm sorry. I don't feel like we get too much stuff on Pokemon Day outside of like the 20th anniversary and maybe possibly the 25th. But go ahead.
Well, yes, I'm definitely expecting something in regards to news this coming week or even on the day itself because there are still a lot of heavy rumors going along in regards to not only more gameplay stuff in terms of the new Pokemon Snap, but also still rumblings and potential Diamond and Pearl remakes. I'm not sure whether or not we'll actually see that, so taking this with a grain of salt, but there are definitely heavy rumors that potentially on Pokemon Day there may be news in regards to the unveiling of the remasters of Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
So, in that regards, it's like there's definitely a lot of potential that can happen. There definitely is because it's a marquee year for the Pokemon franchise, being its 20 what was it 25th
Yep.
anniversary. In that regards, definitely they're gonna do a lot of stuff in correlation to celebrating the entire year. Hell, they've had a whole bunch of different partnerships from like Post Malone to like freaking Katy Perry to like this type of stuff. So they definitely have Nintendo has definitely put in the big bucks in regards to trying to advertise out what is initially this year and stuff because in and of itself Pokemon is the most popular franchise in the world, even more so than say like with Disney in regards to like other types of franchises along like that line. So I definitely expect some form of news to be shared either on the day or maybe even like throughout this week. But if I had to be a betting man, I think we hear about the Diamond and Pearl remakes this week.
Yeah. I'm hoping for the Let's Go Gold and Silver over that. I'd rather have the
That's
Let's
possible.
Go. Even though I like the main games more than the Let's Go games. I'd rather play the Gold. Just as a old school fan, I would much rather play Gold and Silver than play the Diamond and Pearl stuff. Um, yeah, I hope so. It'd be cool to hear get some news out of it. And yeah, the Post Malone concert is on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so
Yes, it is on the Pokemon Day.
yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, maybe they'll actually have a little event of it. So hopefully we'll.
Could you just imagine Post Malone singing the Pokemon theme?
Oh man, I just want to hear the Pokemon rap. That's all I want.
Oh God.
That'd be awesome. Let's hope so. But some other news here, some non Nintendo news here. Uh, Gables, you and I,
Ah,
we just I watched the trailer a few days ago. You watched trailer for the podcast. The Mortal Kombat
yes.
movie trailer just came out this week as well. What was your thoughts on that trailer?
I definitely like what I saw. The trailer has a lot of potential in regards to the quality of the film itself. I did like a lot of the references that it made, not only for specific
Mm-hmm.
characters, but also for like specific moves, the different types of like rival sort of combat things, like the usual thing that you would expect from a Mortal Kombat, like anything. Obviously, the rivalry between Sub Zero and Scorpion, you
Mm-hmm.
see that in full effect. You see in one trailer scene, you see like Jax getting his arms pretty much froze off by Sub
Yeah.
Zero, and then all of a sudden replaced by like these mechanical arms, kind of like how he does in the game. There was some little bit of hokey parts here and there, especially towards like the beginning part of the trailer, where it kind of gave me vibes of total like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which I did not like, obviously, and that's kind of the continuous like consensus where it's like Mortal Kombat, that movie when it first released back in the '90s, there are people that did like the film, but the sequel is universally like just
Oh, it's
hated
bad.
in that regards.
It's all the worst things of a video game movie. Annihilation is.
Yes, I feel like that this video game adaptation from the trailer that I've seen of it definitely has a lot of potential. It hits the right marks in terms of appeal. It definitely hits that type of marks to where the oncoming like the the crowd looking in sees, okay, Mortal Kombat, what's this? Oh, okay, this is the one based upon a video game that's been around for over 20 years. So it's like, okay, this is easy to get into, more action oriented, this and that. But at the end of the day, I liked what I saw. But what were your thoughts about it, Tyler?
I loved it for like like I said, this isn't like I'm not gonna put this on the scale of like any like movies I really love, like a Lord of the Rings or like even like a Godfather or anything like that, like top movies or Space Jam, things like that. Those classic cinema movies that like you think of the best of the best. You think games like you think the movies like Godfather and the Goodfellas and Space Jam.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon, yes, and the also Flesh Gordon, um, porn
For
Pornhub.com/Flesh Gordon.
those,
Um,
oh my god, yeah, for those that are mentioning that, we're very
Flash,
much referring to the freaking meme.
ha, yeah. Oh man, best soundtrack. Uh, anyways, I was mentioning it to my parents because I have like the HBO Max and it's coming to HBO
Mm.
Max and because the HBO has a WB and stuff like that has a thing going on where like comes to the HBO Max and uh, theaters the same day. And I was just like, I was telling my parents like, yeah, the trailer came out for it and stuff. And I'm like, it actually seems like a good movie, like not like just a good like video game movie, but like actually looks like it could be a good movie, like like I said, not top of the line, but like a good like fun like action movie you can pop on and play and enjoy it. Like Taken
And
or John Wick. John Wick I think is better than most action movies, but like a Taken. Taken's one of my favorite movies. Like it's one of those movies I can just watch over and over again and never get tired
it
of.
definitely is a good movie,
Yeah,
yes.
it's I've watched it 10 times and I love it every time I watch it. And it's just like like it's on this, potentially on one of those levels where it's like it's not the best acting, it's not the best whatever. It's like it seems like it could be a fun movie to watch. And it's just like I look at this, I'm like this is actually like I don't have to defend this as like a fanboy or as like even though I'm not like a fanboy of Mortal Kombat games of the franchise, but it's like I don't have to like it's just like this seems like we like Mortal Kombat, because it's not a good movie, but it's just like it's an entertaining movie at the very least. And it's like that's all we really want from a video game movie. It's like it's just like just entertain me, but like just in like not like in a abysmal way, but like just entertain me. And like the worst sense of the word, like over the top. Not a great movie at all. Not a good movie even. It's a Sylvester Stallone movie about fucking arm wrestling. But I love that movie. It's just good, but it's not good. But it's just like be better than that. Be and actually like that's a good movie, guys. Just check. It's a good action movie. Check it out. And that's what I got from it. It's got good vibes. It's definitely got like the whole like Kano wins or finish him or yeah, it has
They got fatalities in
they
there
got
too.
fatalities like reptile smoke shows in there. Like they do a good job of like showing like if you know Mortal Kombat, like you know these things that they're saying and referencing, but also it's like this like the way the trailer works out. And like I watched the Red Band one, that's the way to go. Like this is gonna be rated R. It's not gonna be like the '95 Mortal Kombat was PG-13. Like this is like they're
Right.
going for it. They ain't fucking around on that shit, which I love.
Yeah.
Like at one point like fucking Sub Zero like fucking slices open Scorpion, and then like the blood splatters into the air, and he catches the blood and turns into fucking his blood into a knife and stabs him with it. It's like, oh fuck, this is amazing. And then like it's just, I
The
love
sense
it.
of
I
detail.
love it, and it's just like they're going into like Scorpion's like an old man. It looks like in this, and it's just like, um, I'm really into it. I went from like it's kind of like the whole like Last of Us stuff we talked about a couple weeks ago, where it's like I had no real expectations for Last of Us, the TV show, until like they announced the actors. And I'm like, oh fuck, god damn it! Now I have expectations for this. And it's like now it's like I mean it's a good thing. Like I'd rather have it's like I mean I'm happier right now where I am where it's like I have expectations for this and like watching the trailer I'm like this looks fucking like Annihilation bad. It's like I'm happy I have like this isn't Mortal Kombat 195 Mortal Kombat bad or like good bad. This is like actually like a good movie possibly, and like this makes me very happy. Where it's like well, maybe we can finally break that curse of just abysmal um, video game movies. And Gables, by the way, we talked a while back about the Monster Hunter movie. You know the movie
Uh-huh.
came out?
No.
Yeah, it's been out.
No, I
I had
didn't.
no idea. It's been out. You can rent it and buy it right now. It's out.
Dude,
It's out. But I didn't know that. I just
I didn't even know it was out, but now that I know that it's out, I'm just thinking about it, and I just think back to that trailer I watched weeks ago that you showed me. I'm like,
yeah, yeah. I don't have any interest. I just it was just funny that the movie came out and I had no fucking idea about it. So I just wanted to mention that. But yeah,
hadn't you said anything, I would not have known the wiser, and I probably would have been better off for it.
yeah, I'm sorry for ruining the rest of your weekend. But you know, my weekend was ruined when I found out it was out, and I feel like I need to ruin yours in turn. So moving on to some other news here. Wash that taste of our mouths of Mila Djokovic in another movie with her husband he directed. Diablo 2 Resurrected was announced over the weekend. Excuse me, had a burp. BlizzCon went on this weekend digitally. They did some Overwatch 2 stuff, but I mean, it's like really in the weeds. If you care about it, you've already checked it out, kind of stuff. But Diablo 2 Resurrected was revealed. It's a remaster of the Diablo 2 from I want to say like the early 2000s, late 90s.
1998.
1998. Thank you. It's coming. It's coming out sometime this year. They showed off a trailer with some gameplay. It looks really nice. And I mean, not like 20 like top of the line graphics, nice, but it looks really good for a Diablo game in 2021. And it's coming out sometime this year, and it's coming to everything. It's coming to all the consoles, Switch included, and it's also coming to PC as well. I'm not a Diablo guy at all, Gables, but I thought this looked kind of cool. But I'm not gonna check it out. But what was your thoughts when you want to talk about this? And also, there's some other BlizzCon news you want to touch upon. So, curious what your thoughts are on all this were.
Okay. So before we get into the Diablo 2 thing, I'll just mention this briefly, but and this is in regards to classic games, in regards to Blizzard's back catalog and stuff, especially back in the Super Nintendo era. So they stealth dropped a collection of 3 classic games on like consoles, including the Switch, which includes Lost Vikings, I think Rock and Roll Racing, and Black Throttle, I think it is. Basically, these are 3 classic games from their catalog from the 90s and stuff that are underrated, and they're very expensive to try to get in regards to the systems in general, but they definitely are worth a shot. I believe they're about either 15 or $20 on the digital storefronts. So if you're a retro gamer like, say, myself, that you want to invest inside this stuff, then go ahead. Just try that out, man. It's like Lost Vikings is definitely a classic. It's a puzzle game with like an individual like 3 characters you got to control and this and that to try to get past certain areas. Okay, so with that out of the way, for Diablo 2 Resurrection, one, I was highly expecting this game to be revealed sometime. They did it at BlizzCon, which I'm not surprised. I thought it was going to be PC only, so the thing that surprised me the most is Diablo 2 coming to consoles. So it's like PS5, Xbox Series X, like PS4, Xbox One, but they announced it for Switch as well. That surprised me considering that for like a lot of like certain like games or remaster stuff, the Switch hasn't really been targeted as of late in regards to stuff. I mean, EA is a good key example. It's like they released a Mass Effect trilogy for the other consoles, but not on Switch. But for Diablo 2, I do like that it's coming out onto consoles in general because this is a game that is a certified classic from the PC scene. Definitely has a lot of that dungeon crawler aesthetics and stuff. I mean, if those of you who have not played Diablo 2 before, but you've played bits of Diablo 3, definitely this is worth a shot to go into and play this game because this game is a classic for a reason. Many people love it. Obviously, there are some Diablo purists and stuff that really like this resurrection stuff. It's PC first, obviously, in mindset, so you have to keep that in mind. But I'm curious to see how this will work on the Switch or even on like the consoles themselves. So I'm wondering if there's different type of button prompts or if it controls similarly to that of like say Diablo 3 to where you got to select certain things in the face buttons and stuff and then move around and do a lot of exploration that way. If so, that's perfectly fine. But I'm fairly excited because, for instance, I've never played Diablo 2 in any capacity, so this will be my first experience with this game. Definitely excited to try it out. I'm kind of bummed that they just give a 2021 moniker, but they don't even set an entire date, which that just tells me they got plenty of work to try to do, like create this more, remaster more of this game before they give a concrete date. So that kind of concerns me a bit, where it's like it could be releasing close to the end of the year, or maybe even 2022.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Yeah, I want to hear like people say about like the big Diablo fans because I know there was some backlash with Diablo 3 when it first came out and all that, and then
Yes.
also just want to hear about Blizzard's been in a weird spot the last few years, so hope this is a win they desperately need. So hopefully this comes out, people love it.
Yeah.
But some other news here that could be potentially exciting. So we might be hearing some Silent Hill stuff here very shortly.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
this is kind of an article with a lot of uh, um, things going on into it. So it kind of started off with like Bloober Team, who was the guys that they just released the Medium that came out as the Xbox Series XS game um, last month. I want to say end of January,
All
and they
right.
also did like the Blair Witch Project game and Layers of Fear and stuff as well. So it's kind of started off initially as like a Bloober Team is working on a Silent Hill thing, and it kind of turned into something else here. Um, so this is an article here from Video Game Chronicles, and just bear with me as I read through some of this here. While the studio has not revealed the identity of, so let me start. The media developer Bloober Team has said it's working on an existing horror IP from a very famous gaming publisher, uh, fueling speculation it could be reviving a Konami Silent Hill game. And then this goes on here. So while the studio has not revealed the identity the franchise is working on, Bloober Team CEO, I'm not even gonna try. Uh, Told GI.biz he believed it would cause quite a stir once it's revealed. We've been working on a game for more than a year. We've been working for more than a year on another gaming project, another horror IP, and we're doing this with a very famous gaming publisher. I can't tell you who, I can't tell you what the project is, but I'm pretty sure when people realize we're working on it, they will be very excited. The comments have caused fans to speculate that the Polish developer could be working on Silent Hill. The Konami horror series that has reportedly been shopped around by the publisher in recent years. Earlier this month, YouTube channel the Great Debate even published an hour-long video presenting evidence that this could be the case, including comments from Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka, claiming that he was working on a second project for Bloober because he did the music for the Medium, and he came out and did an interview with Game Informer a while back, a few weeks ago, and said that. Let me see if I can find the quote here. Here it is. Earlier this month, here it is. 1 second, I'm sorry. Yeah, so he appeared in a YouTube video in which teased his next game project and said, it's the one you've been hoping to hear about." And then the video was quickly pulled because
Hmm.
somebody asked him to pull the video. And then Konami denied saying they're the ones that said they need to pull the video. Um, so moving on with the article here. So, however, VGC understands that Konami has already outsourced Silent Hill, uh, the project, to a prominent Japanese developer with a reveal due this summer. If Bloober Team is working on Silent Hill, something our sources were unable to confirm, then that would mean that two franchises reboots are in the works, which is something that industry insiders have suggested could be Konami's intention. Two people with knowledge of the Japanese publisher's plans told VGC that it had originally approached Dark Pictures developer Supermassive to pitch a Silent Hill reboot. The Supermagic project was ultimately not signed, but the framework for the game evolved into the episodic Dark Picture titles. Um, so yeah, um, basically it sounds like people were going crazy because stuff was adding up about Bloober was working on the next Silent Hill game, and then it's like rumors are coming. Then it's like looks like speculations out there is like based off of some reporting that there's a Silent Hill game coming. We'll hear about it in the summer, but it's not Bloober Team that's working on it. So,
Hmm.
but Bloober Team says that it's. This is something that I want to focus on here. So, for Bloober Team wise, we've been working for more than a year on a gaming project, another horror IP, and we're doing this with a very famous gaming publisher. I don't know who that very famous gaming publisher could be, but I do want to focus on another horror IP. These are the guys that made the Blair Witch Project, which is a movie IP. So this
Mm-hmm.
tells me that they could be working on potentially a movie IP that's a horror. It could be a Conjuring game or something, or fucking a Freddy game. Doesn't necessarily. These guys have a history of working with movie IPs and turning them into games.
Right.
But also, I mean, people talk about with their games a lot. They are very much trying to, like, a lot of their games, especially the medium. A lot of people talk about, like, they came out to mixed reviews for the most part. It seems like it's one of those. It's a 7 or 8 kind of game. Um, but a lot of people say it's like their attempt at a Silent Hill game. So I mean, they're very much want. It seems like they want to be. They even have the Silent Hill composer making the music for their games. Um, so it very much seems like they want it. They would love to make a Silent Hill game, but I don't know. It seems like from this that sorry, it seems like from this that they don't that's not the case. So Gable, what's your thoughts on all this news coming out of this?
Hmm. Honestly, what it sounds like, well, we definitely have been hearing a lot of like Silent Hill news in regards to suspected rumors, different types of things from like composers, from actually other people and stuff. What's fairly interesting is like the start of this year was just the onslaught of potential remasters in regards to classic Konami franchises. I mean, the rumors still surrounding Silent Hill is one, Metal Gear Solid is another one. I mean, hell, we got basically what we got confirmed right now is Konami is definitely open to the fact that they would lend their IPs, to like other people to develop these games with their IPs in that regards. But in regards to whether or not the creators of the medium are actually going to do this Silent Hill game, I mean, I think it's a very strong possibility. Very strong possibility. I mean, hell, if it's not them, and it ends up becoming something very obscure, like say working with Namco over a Splatterhouse game. I mean, that would be freaking funny. I think that would be fucking hilarious in that regards. But I personally feel this holds enough weight to where I feel like they are working on a new Silent Hill game. I mean, it's fairly obvious to what has been mentioned and what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not totally buying that. I don't think it's. I mean, it'd be fine if it did happen. I'm not a huge Silent Hill guy, so it's not gonna, like, you know brush up my skirt at all if they are or not. I just think about, like, we had all those PlayStation rumors last year, a year, maybe 2 years ago, about Silent Hill was, the PlayStation worked out a deal with them to publish their games, and I hope that's the case because I feel like that would be the best case scenario for Konami, these franchises, and gamers, in PlayStation, with, like, they're gonna give it to the right people to make these games happen. Bloober Team, their games come out and they do fine. They're like pretty much look at Layer of Fears. I played Blair Witch Project. It was okay. It was like a okay Outlast style game.
Yeah,
Um, it's like it doesn't really. Maybe if they were working on it, I don't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like fans of Silent Hill would be happy to get a pretty good game.
at this point, yeah.
Yeah, and they've even talked about, like, their next games isn't necessarily even going to be a straight up, like, scary game, like, like their games like that came out recently where you can't attack, can't do anything, you're just exploring these worlds. Like, they're going to be more thrillers, there's going to be more action to them. So who knows what that means? But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping for more for the case of, like, it's Sony working on it, like, more so maybe just maybe it's the fanboy in me of, like, Konami and PlayStation working together, and then also Kojima being in the background there, of, like, maybe we can get Kojima to work on some shit I want him to work on, like next Metal Gear or something.
My
But
God,
I
dude.
don't know. But it's like you look at, like, what Konami, who they partner with, where, like, they partner. You look at the games they partner with, like some of these Silent Hill games in the past, where it's like they just get these no name studios, no disrespect to them, and they just kind of give them a tiny ass budget to make these Silent Hill games, and they come out and they're trash. And look at the games they've done in house with, like, the Contra, Rogue, was it Rogue something, and then they
It's a
had
real corpse,
Rogue
I
Corpse,
think.
yep, and then they had Metal Gear Survive. It's like Konami doesn't. I mean, they don't.
God.
You take away everything besides Metal Gear Solid, whether they put out, that's good in the last decade.
Only thing is Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's just
And
that's a
Pro Evolution Soccer, actually.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. But even their Yu-Gi-Oh games are very hit and miss about how those fucking games come out. So
Very
because
true.
and they're also very bad about the making you buy spend extra money on those games. So
So yeah, they bombed so badly with their
Yeah. So
actual games being developed that they're lending probably their IPs to other developers to make.
yeah, and it bugs me about the Supermassive stuff because I love uh, Until Dawn, and I would love it if they worked on something like that. Because the Dark Picture games come out and they're fine, but they're not great. It's like I feel like that would have been a case where they could help both of those studios, both Konami and Supermassive, where like they can both do something really really cool there. But that gives me that just gives me hopes a little bit where they're willing to go out there and talk to people that have a pedigree when they're talking to Supermassive and shit like that. Where like those guys, I mean, they're not like AAA like top of the line like whatever guys, but when you're talking about like they talked to them a few years ago, and then they pitched the Silent Hill game to them and a reboot to them, and then instead they made it like it didn't work out, and then they made the Dark Picture games based off of those. The framework they took from that Silent Hill pitch to make Dark Picture, like that gives me hope that like they're not just trying to give us some anybody. They're trying to find like some good studios here to work on these games. So that gives me hope, possibly, unless it's like Supermassive wanted too much money. I don't know. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm not a Silent Hill guy. I didn't grow up loving the franchise, but I'd be like, I'd love to have a good Silent Hill game, especially for the fans. But it just in general would be like awesome to have more great games. That's why like I look at this like unless there's like some studio I'm just not thinking of or we don't know about that can make this fucking fantastic Silent Hill game in 2021, 2022, 2023, whatever. Like I look at like teaming up with Sony, like that's I think the best case scenario for both parties involved. You know, like we talked about it a couple years ago, or a year and a half ago, or so when the news came out, or the leaks or rumors came out, where it's like this was happening with Sony and Konami. It's like we were both very excited about this because like we trust PlayStation to like put these in the right hands and make these games work out. It's like
Well, yeah,
we seen
exactly.
we both played PT and that was fucking awesome. And it's like
Yep.
man, if Kojima can work on to get that Silent Hill game that he always wanted to make back, that'd be fucking awesome. So
Yeah, that would.
yeah, here's hoping. But Gables, that's gonna wrap it up for this week. Um,
Okay.
thank you guys so much for checking us out. We are on everything. If you're listening to us or you want to watch us, we are on Twitch every Sunday. Recording this usually around 7:30 Pacific time, West Coast, Best Coast time. Um, and also, if you don't get a chance to watch us live, I put the video up on YouTube later. But if you want to just listen to us, we're on everything. Spotify, iTunes, Last FM, whatever. We're on all of them. If you whatever a podcast can go on, I put them on there. The ones I can find. So check us out in all those places. Like, follow, subscribe. Big thumbs up, please. Comments that really help appreciate and shares really helps us out. Gets us out there. Helps with the algorithm of more people being able to see us. So until next time, I was host. I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables. Until next time, hope you have yourself a fun week. Definitely play yourself a bunch of fun games. But most importantly of all, thank you for listening to another fun filled episode of the Drunk Nerds
And
podcast.
hey, Gables.
Yep.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya.